the student Islamic organizations for inviting me at this important junction. Dear friends, I am confused. I am confused that where to start and where to end. In the contemporary India has so much of problems. Let me just give a glimpse. Though I don't know Malayalam, I'll try to convince as easily as possible. Friends, let's start from demonetization, which is happening from last 15 days. The banning of notes. This has a very serious implications to the Muslims, Dalits and Adivasis community of this country. These demonetizations will have a devastating impact. Those upper caste, upper class, rich businessmen, entrepreneurs, they can swipe their card, they can run their business. But majority of the population of our country, which constitute Dalits, Adivasis, Muslims, they have to deal every day in the caste transactions. You must be aware that in a country like India, where more than 80% of the populations are engaged in the informal sectors, the petty small business, the agrarian workers, the building constructions workers, and the small businessmen, you must be aware the majority of the Muslims, even in Kerala, after Gulf, those are involved in the small scale industry, small scale business, they will be ruined away due to this monetization. Our entire agriculture, it will have a huge impact in coming 2 to 3 years. Technically this government is basically run by RSS, and they have a larger agenda of this for this country. Agenda is make Muslims de-citizens. That means technically you will be the resident of India. You will have your Aadhaar card, bank account and passport, but you will be like a second class citizens of this country. If you listen the videos of RSS functionaries, they openly saying on record in the public meeting, you cannot throw away millions of Muslims from this country. You cannot throw away millions of Dalit from this country. What you have to do? Make them economically disempowered. Make them economically vulnerable, so that they will not organize, so that they will not agitate. Why the Muslims of Kerala are at least in politically have some empowerment? Because the economic empowerment plays a very important role. The establishment, the infrastructure, the colleges, the universities, the organizations, all these things came because of economic empowerment. Whatever little bit economic empowerment you have, the agenda is make the country destabilize, target particular community, target them economically. If not economically possible, then target them physically. You have hundreds and thousands of examples of communal riots of a country. This is not a communal riot, this is anti-Muslim pogrom, anti-Muslim violence, right from independence to till now. There are issues. Sachar committee report, which clearly brought out 3 important things. Sachar committee report makes 3 important points. One point is the issue of security. The security issues, it could be physical security, it will be economic security, it could be emotional security. There is a Muzaffarnagar, there will be Gujarat, there will be Moradabad, there will be Bhagalpur, there will be Bhimapalli. The series of incidents will take place. And the second issue which Sachar committee raised, the issue of identity. Now the Muslims of Kerala, if economically well off, but the identity issue still matters. Identity in a larger perspective. How they target a particular organizations, how they target particular individuals, how they target particular groups. Friends, keep your ears and eyes open in this contemporary world, in this contemporary India. How different laws have been enacted in parliament and the state assemblies. If you look at the regressive laws like POTA, TADA, UAPA, we'll understand the trap. Earlier they used to target Muslim Maulanas, Alim Ulemas, but their target goal has changed now. They understood Ulema has certain limitations. In Hindi there was a kahawat ki mulla ki daud masjid tak. They understood only targeting ulema will not be sufficient. Let us target educated Muslim youth who can think in a different way, who can organize his community, who can organize, who can agitate, who can claim the democratic and citizens' rights for his and her community. They are targeting the Muslim youths. That's why the issue of Najib is not Najib as an individual. Of course they have hatred against Muslim individual, but the issue of Najib is not the issue of individual of Najib alone. The issue has larger signal to Muslim community कि अपने औकात पे रहो, हिंदुस्तान में रहना है. If you want to stay in a country like India, limit yourself. That's what the message, the clear message RSS is giving to the Muslim community. Najib, a bright student of biotechnology, just joined JNU. He thought that Jamia Millia Islamia won't be the good place to do higher education. With lot of dreams, with lot of hope, with lot of aspirations, he joined Jawaharlal Nehru University. Generally, when you say JNU, you find what a nice, progressive, beautiful place. Brother, the place, the state which I am delivering my speech, the state is now running by the left party, the CPIM. The same political parties were there in power in Jawaharlal University. Historically, JNU used to be called of the Red Fort, the bastion of the left. If the bastion of the left is not secure for a Muslim student, Muslim youth, where you will get security? Left front government of the Kerala has to answer these questions. You cannot simply shy away by just targeting RSS, BJP and Sangh Parivar. We have been doing this thing from past centuries. More than 70 years of our independence, we have been targeting RSS and Sangh Parivar. Unfortunately, we have not identified our other political parties, so-called secular political parties. What is Akhilesh Yadav doing? The Najib Ahmad is basically from Badaयूं, a district of Uttar Pradesh. Is it not the responsibility of the Chief Minister, Akhilesh Yadav, to take note of this Najib issue? The same Akhilesh Yadav will inaugurate Hajj committee. The same Akhilesh Yadav will go and have a float iftar party. The same Akhilesh Yadav will sitting a lot of ulemas and they'll garland them ulemas. Ulemas will garland him. It is unfortunate. It is unfortunate. We are between the trap of the secular and the communal. We are between the trap. The way Congress has used Muslims for past 70 years. You know what is the policy of Congress? They will not throw away Muslim community. They will keep Muslim community in the pocket. BJP will throw, Congress will keep in pocket. Whenever the requirement, they will say, yes, Muslim is with us. Now Muslim youth are understanding. It is a new churning in the Indian politics. Secular country, secular country, secular country. If country is so secular, who is ruling now? Thumping majority. A person who has government, the High Court, the Supreme Court is saying the person who has linked with 2002 riot. How come the same person is a Prime Minister? Friends, it is high time for not only Muslim youth, high time for all like-minded people who want to survive, who want to restore the democracy of our country. Dr. Ambedkar, who has drafted these constitutions, in the fundamental rights, it is clearly defined that dignity. As a citizens, we have dignity in this country. A student missing for more than 50 days, no hue and cry. At the time of 9 February in last year, 9 February, when Kanhaiya was arrested, when Umar and Irfan were arrested, the entire country was in hue and cry. There used to be a lot of political rallies. All our left MPs and MLAs, all our so-called secular brigade on the street, save JNU, save JNU. We are also saying save JNU. If the student of the JNU, if the marginalized section of the JNU is not safe, what is the meaning of saving JNU? JNU is not a building. JNU is not a name of classroom. JNU is not a name of exam and getting degrees. It is the people. That's why the idea of nation also matters. When you say nation, when you say India, it is not the territorial India. It is the people of this country. If the people of this country is not safe, India is also not safe. If Najib is not safe, JNU is also not safe. If Rohit is not safe, HU is also not safe. Brother, friends, sisters, with deep heart, coming right from the Delhi to here, not to see the God's own country, not to see the beauty of Kerala, just to convey the message, the country is moving in a very wrong directions. I am giving a small incidents. Look at the overall Muslim scenario of our country. Here and there you have Kerala little bit economically empowered. You have your political parties, organizations, institutions. But look at throughout country. What is the Muslim status? Constructions worker, agriculture workers, laborers, beggars, trafficking industry. This is the situation of Muslim society in India. And what politics happens? What is our Muslim leadership is doing? We have to question that our leadership too. This is a high time. This is a high time to understand economic marginalization, demonetization, abduction of Najib, killing of Rohit Vemula. These all are connected issues. You know why? You know why Najib and Rohit? Because Dalit youths are being organized in the University of Hyderabad. The Brahminical Hindutva forces, they cannot digest that. How come Dalit organizations are getting united and taking the issues of Muslims, Adivasis and other backward classes? We have to imagine the Indian politics in a different way. I am coming from Bengal. sure, I have been told by my friends that in Kerala, in the morning, 8 o'clock, there is another Bengal. All those construction workers, laborers from Murshidabad, Malda, Dinajpur, Kuch Bihar, Jalpaiguri, Assam, they all come for their livelihood in Kerala. The same left government, Comrade Buddhadev Bhattacharya, Comrade Jyoti Basu, they have ruled the state for 3.5 decades, 34 years. Now you tell me, if the government is secular, if the government is progressive, Sachar committee report says the Muslim percentage in West Bengal is 27%, but their share in employment is only 2%. Large number of Muslim migrant workers, they go out from state of Bengal. No presence in universities, no job, no employment, no dignity. And you are ruling. We are progressive party. We are secular political parties. This was your secularisms. Friends, let me put another important point. The another important issue is, we have lot of problems. Within community, beyond community. We have problems of maslaks. We have problems of school of thoughts. And this problem is increasing and it's turning in a different way. Brother, no one knows whether Najib is Hanafi or Shafi or Maliki or Ahl Hadith or Barelvi or Ahl Sunnat al Jamaat. No one knows who is Najib is. When they will target, they have their fixed audience how to target. They will not see whether you are wearing pagdi or not, whether you are saying Amin in loud or slow, they will not see that. Whether you are Sunni or Hanafi or Ahl Sunnat al Jamaat or Ahl Hadith or Jamaat Islami, they will not see that. They have their fixed audience. I am not saying resolve all issues. The issue of maslaks, the issue of school of thoughts, it will be there. Let us celebrate the diversity. The Islams have different way to look into it. But as far as the dignity is concerned, as far as rights is concerned, as far as the life of a Muslim student is concerned, you have to be united. When I say you, it is not Muslims alone. It is along with Muslims, Dalits, the Adivasis, all have to be in one boat. Nobody is saying the situation of Adivasis. You must be aware that old Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act of Jharkhand, Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act is basically a tribal land should not be taken away by non-tribals. This current BJP government of Jharkhand is amending that act so that they can acquire the land of the tribals. It is the responsibility of Muslim organizations also to raise the issue of the deprived tribal community of our country. The entire central India, the entire Jharkhand, all this in a serious problem of economic marginalization. Friends, I won't take much time. My simple, humble suggestion to each and everyone, don't be carried away by the secular rhetoric of political parties. BJP is, we know who is BJP, but we also have to know non-BJP is spreading the ideology of BJP. I am not going to name any political party. You are conscious enough, you are responsible enough. Don't be swayed away, carried away by the rhetoric remarks. Let us ask for, let us take a pledge that each and every individual should be connected to the larger community for ensuring the rights, ensuring the democratic rights, the rights of the citizens of this country. Unless, if you don't do that, it will be devastating problem. You must be aware, even in Kerala, there are activists, there are human rights activists who are languishing in jails year after years. There are hundreds of youths, hundreds of Muslim activists in the name of UAPA, in the name of TADA, in the name of quota, in the name of all other regressive acts, they are in jail. And you know how they divide community? When you go and talk to another Muslim community, they will say, कुछ तो कुछ किया होगा, कुछ तो जरूर किया होगा. They will go and brainwash Ahle Hadith. They will go and brainwash our Ahle Sunnatul Jamaat brothers. Why I am saying? Look at the National Crime Records Bureau report. It is available in the website. Look at the number of persons are languishing in jail without any trials. They are not even given chance to hire advocates. There is no fair trial. There is no evidence. But they are languishing in jails. In the jails of Kerala, in the jails of Karnataka, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh. I can name lot of many states. Who will raise this issue? I am requesting all the political parties, especially those who are concerned for the rights of the marginalized sections, whatever politics you do, but at least form a larger solidarity. Larger solidarity is required right at this moment. Without larger solidarity, it will be difficult. You must be aware, there is a commission called Delimitation Commission. Delimitation Commission. This commission, what they do, they basically limit the politics of marginalized community. In the name of delimitation, they limit the politics of the Dalits, the politics of Muslims. How? Suppose this is Kotavali. It is in Wayanad parliamentary constituency, I guess. They will calculate if the constituency's population is increasing. Suppose the Muslim population is high, make it scheduled caste reserve constituency. Such a committee report pointed out that there are constituency where large number of Muslim presence made them scheduled caste reserve constituency. And on the other hand, when there are large number of Dalit populations, make them unreserved constituency, so that you don't get political representation from that country, from that constituency. You have to understand, our Muslim politicians, Dalit politicians should understand there are a lot of technicalities, and this technicalities is well crafted by all these elite Brahminical Hindutva forces of this country to limit the politics of progressiveness. With my deep concern, being from JNU, you understand the insecurity of a Muslim student. Najib mother, she have been moving pillar to post from past 50 days. His sister, moving pillar to post from past 50 days. No justice. Modi ji, you are talking about I will give rights to the Muslim women by amending triple talaq. You give rights to the mother of Najib first. You don't have to be concerned about the Muslim women. You give the rights of Najib mother first. Look at the consciousness of a middle class Indian citizens. No sense of remorse. 9 February incidents, big rallies, lot of articles in newspaper. Azadi, Azadi, Azadi. And as far as Najib is concerned, now news in the 3rd page of a newspaper, small clip. A small student leaders will give a lecture, that will become a front page news. And when the Najib is disappeared and his mother is crying, police is pulling his mother, and that news is coming in the 3rd page. This is a responsible society. This is the responsible media. This has to understand in the larger context, my friends. Why I am saying all these things? Because we have a huge hope from Kerala. Earlier we used to think what Bengal thinks today, India thinks tomorrow. Now I am changing the narrative, what Kerala thinks today, India thinks tomorrow. I think Bengal is a gone case. There is no hope in Bengal. Why there is no hope? I will end here. The point which I was making, what is the need of the hour? Need of the hour, especially for the Muslim youth, organize yourself. Don't waste time in WhatsApp and Facebook too much. Organize yourself. Have a goal of rebuilding India. Understand the problem of the community. Understand the problem of the marginalized sections of our community. Think about a future. Think about a future. The future of not only career and building home and going to Gulf. The career of, think about how to formulate policies, how to organize the marginalized sections of our country, how to strengthen the democracy of our country, how to have a new politics, a new imagination of Indian politics, where all those oppressed unity, oppressed nationalities, oppressed caste, oppressed class, oppressed region, the unity of the oppressed. This has to be the sole concern of the marginalized youth of our country. Lastly, I would like to request our religious leadership of our country, with deep respect, with serious acknowledging of their works at their different levels, we have to understand, we have to rethink about the rights of women of our community. Qazi Nazrul Islam, a famous Bengali poet in 1960s, he is saying, I am saying in Bangla, পৃথিবী যখন ব্যস্ত বিজ্ঞান আর প্রযুক্তি নিয়ে, আমাদের মোল্লারা ব্যস্ত কোরআন হাদিস চষে কিভাবে বিবি তালাক দেওয়া যায়। Translation is that when the entire world is concerned, the entire community, global community is concerned about the development of progress of science, technology, education, and our religious leadership is finding how to give talak. I am not saying that talak is not important. Talak is of course important, but we have to go beyond that imagination of the women rights. Now Muslim women are questioning in a public forum about their rights and dignity. We have to understand the present scenario, changing context of the globe. And second thing, to our religious authority, each and every group, they are saying, I am pure, I am pure, I am progressive, I am sacrosanct. The whole superiority complex coming to Muslims, religious leadership has to come out from the superiority complex. Let us sit and discuss in the table. Until and unless our religious leadership among within themselves is not concerned and taking this issue seriously, it will be very difficult in a country like India to operate. Therefore, with this small request, I am urging each and every individual cutting across communities and religions, if you really concerned about the future of India, if you really concerned about the concept of social justice and democratic rights, you have to be united. And there will be difference of opinions. You have to chalk out a strategy how to live with differences. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much indeed for your inspiring and educative words.